So it's New Year's Eve tonight, and one of my goals for next year is to put on weight. So I don't remember what I put in here. I think it's milk, nuts, oats, blueberries, peanut butter, protein powder, and honey. It's damn good. But that's besides the point. I just wanted to have something to drink, honestly. Tonight I'm talking about toxic friends. Because I think this is obvious, personally. But, I don't think everyone wants to be that blunt about it. People struggle to cut people out of their lives or, want to have that difficult conversation. And I mean, it could be anyone. It could be family, a coworker, fucking, I don't know, the mailman or something. But when it comes down to it doesn't matter who it is. I think it's really important to understand that you are what you eat when it comes to many things, but definitely socially. And when you surround yourself with people that are just weighing you down, or they have, worldviews that differ from your own, it's going to rub off on you. And I think it would be wise to, kind of shave away the people that you don't think align with you. Like, I won't give any super specific examples, but I definitely have people from my life who probably, I would say, during the end of college started to, show signs of like we're clearly going in different directions, right? Either it's like a career thing, or we've just started to grow up and we value different things politically, societally, whatever it is. And I have to be like, I mean, either they're not who I thought they were, they clearly have sides to them that I didn't know existed, or maybe it's a friend that you grew up on different trajectories. Like, I definitely had some people who I was really good friends with in elementary school, middle school, but they didn't mature at the same rate that I did, I guess. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm just, a stoic, manly man, but it's like you start to uncover who people really are as you get older. And it's not something to be ashamed of when you have to decide, like, yeah, this person just really isn't, I don't want to be friends with them anymore. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I can't believe it has to be a conversation, honestly. Like, I think that society has become very averse to being blunt with people, right? And in the West, I think there's definitely like a bit of softness when it comes to telling people like, hey man, I think we should not be friends anymore, or any difficult conversation. And I just think you're doing yourself a disservice if you do not have that conversation. Like, okay, let's give an example. What if you're dating someone and you're 25, you're in the middle of your 20s, you're well into your career, and you have to decide if you're going to marry this person or not, or like where your life is going. But what if you're kind of like, oh, well, they're kind of nice, they're kind of mean to me, they're, people do this dance about like, oh, well, I kind of am into them, or I kind of like this part of them, but I kind of don't like this part of them. And then let's say 5 years go by and now you're 30 and you're like, well, I think I need to decide ultimately I'm not going to marry this person and we're going to split up. Well, now you're 30 and you're single and you just wasted those 5 years when you could have made that decision earlier, when the signs were showing, the red flags were showing of like, maybe this person isn't right for me, And if you just keep waiting and delaying it out and not recognizing that eventually this is going to fall apart, then you're just wasting your time. And it's not like dating gets any easier in your 30s, definitely not. And I mean, I'm not even that old, dude, but I've come to realize that I am like very quickly gotten tired, or my capacity for social interaction has decreased pretty rapidly, at least in the fake sense of it. I still love having hangouts with my good, real bonded friends. But when it comes to like, the water cooler conversations, or people that are just, kind of in your life, they're like circumstantial friends, right? I'm just like, I don't have the fucking time for this anymore, dude. Like, it's just not worth the mental energy to try to keep up this charade of like, oh, I like you. Like when people, they'll see each other in person and like, oh, you look so great. That dress looks great on you. And then 5 minutes later when you don't see, you're like, oh, what a bitch. Do you see what she was wearing? It's like, it's so fake, man. And I know not everyone's like that, but it's just like the fakeness just drives me insane. And I really don't like seeing people feeling like they have to keep up relationships simply for the sake of having them. And it's like that classic line of, it's better to be alone than with people that make you feel lonely. Like, I probably have 5, maybe 6 people in my life that I'm like truly, close with. But beyond that, it's all just like, hey, nice to see you. But, I'm not going to go out of my way to, really get to know people because I want to have 30 friends or something. Like at work, for the most part, I am strictly business. I don't really care to get to know any of my coworkers. I mean, mainly because I work remotely, so I never see them anyways. But it's like, I don't want to, feel like I have to engage in these relationships just because there's a social expectation to do so. And I mean, it's not like, my coworkers are toxic at all. Definitely not. It's more just like picking and choosing who you want to be close to. Because I think people are not selective enough at all. And I know it's hard when, a lot of people, they don't have as many options to pick from. Like I've heard that statistic that, we have less picnics on average. We have less, gatherings at friends' houses than we did 50 years ago or whatever. And, there's plenty of reasons to blame on that. But I just feel like even in this circumstance, when you don't have that many choices, you should maintain your dignity. Like just trying to, throw your line out in the pond to see what catches, and just kind of like, oh, please, anyone be friends with me, I don't know. I just feel like there's just a lot of toxicity out there, a lot of people that are not your friend. They are not people that you should associate yourself with, and it is 100% in your best interest to recognize when that is happening and to, move on from it. And I want to recognize that I'm a little bit biased in that the only examples of people who are truly toxic in my life that I'm no longer friends with were removed from my life, not because I did anything, but because they either moved away or something happened to them where they just, our lives diverged. It's not like I've sat down and been like, we are not going to be friends anymore. Like, that's obviously really awkward, really painful. And, maybe it's like your parents. A lot of people are always like, well, what if this toxic person is my parents? Like, yeah, you can't like disown them. You can't get around that. I get that. But just find ways to maybe maintain the distance or maintain your social integrity with that relationship. Like, you don't have to maybe abandon it completely, but, maybe recognize that you're not going to be on a deep level with this person. And that's perfectly okay. There is no shame with telling someone that you're not going to be friends with them anymore. And, they might even respect you for it. And they're like, okay, well, I'm glad you told me, versus this whole like cat and mouse game of trying to figure out if someone likes you or if they like you, or did you say something weird that offended them? Just like be very clear about it and let's move on. Let's be adults about this. Let's not drag this out for 5 years. Just make it clear. And one more thing I want to add, because I don't want this to be a complete downer, is that if you are fortunate enough to have people or friends in your life that you consider to be really good friends or really close, hold on to them, dude. Do not let that go. It is so easy nowadays to not keep up with people, or to, like, if you move to a different city and, they're no longer really in your life as much, keep up with them, because it is so hard to replace that, dude. I was just at my friend's house. We had a big bonfire get together for the end of the year like we always do. And it's just the best, man, when you have that group of people, like everyone you can trust and everyone's great and everyone likes each other. Like, that is so rare. And I don't want anyone to lose that if they currently have that, because it is so damn hard to replace that. Not all hope is lost. I do think that in a way, me sitting here and talking to you is a way to facilitate friendships. Like, it's not, it's pretty one way, like me talking to you, but when you spend time on the internet, whether it's gaming or Discord or, joining some community online, that's a way to make friends. And, it's not always easy to find really quality friends. Like I said, there's no one that I know outside of my friend group that I want to get close to. But if you don't have anyone and you don't even have that close group of friends that you could call your own, then try to put yourself out there and try to find environments that would be conducive to that, because often people are just looking in the wrong place. Like, my girlfriend has struggled to make friends at her graduate school program, and I keep telling her, like, maybe it's just not the right place for you. Maybe this is not the place that is conducive to non-toxic friends, right? People that are not catty, people that are actually kind to you. And I mean, it's definitely been true that in my almost 1 year on YouTube, I have met some really cool people, whether that's through my podcast that I do or my Minecraft server I launched, and we had a Discord for that. Like, there's great people out there, man. You just have to find the environment that is best suited for you. Because, I mean, you know, everyone's different. Not everyone's going to make friends in the same environment. But I just hope for your sake that you can find people that are not toxic. And hopefully you don't have anyone. I mean, I make these videos for the people that may have this problem, but I hope that you don't have any toxic friends that you have to deal with. That would be amazing. But if you do have that problem, or, you know, like I said, family members or anyone that's toxic in your life, find ways to distance yourself. Maybe that means cutting them out. Maybe that means let's just chat once a week instead of once a day, you know, whatever it looks like to you. You know your life better than anyone, so you know what's best for you. But anyways, cheers to New Year's. This is the final video of the year for me. So I hope that 2024 treats you well, and whatever goal you have that you're trying to do, whether you're trying to get back to the gym or whatever, let's smash it. Let's get started on a strong foot. And yeah, I'll catch you later. This was fucking good.